Hello everyone, Zardapamafar here, and welcome to my first news video. This is going to be on the first news, solid news we actually have on Operation Dustline that will be out May 11th for Rainbow Six Siege. And I'm going to be covering a bunch of topics in this video, and I'll put annotations in the description for each different topic I talk about, so you can skip ahead if you want to. And there's a lot of stuff they went over in this little reveal during the right before the PC finals in Cologne, and I just wanted to let you guys know if there's any videos you guys want me to make or any questions you have about the operators. I did watch this all the way through, so be sure to ask me in the comments. And to start off, we are going to be talking about Valkyrie, and both of the new operators personally look extremely overpowered. And the loadout for Valkyrie, she has an SIG, MPX, and a SPAS 12 as her primary weapons, and they both look... Personally, I think they're both going to be pretty decent weapons. The SPAS looks similar to other shotguns. We're not going to go too much into this now. I might make a more in-depth video on both of the operators if you guys want to see that. Her secondary weapon is a Deagle, which both of them have. Her gadgets are going to be the deployable shield and the nitro cell, and she has medium speed and medium armor. And her special ability, her cameras, she has 4 of them, and she can throw them very far, so people were worried about not being able to put them too far away because she had to throw them. She can throw them pretty far. You can throw them outside on top of roofs and stuff. And they have a giant turn radius. So I personally think Valkyrie is going to be very good. And the cameras didn't seem too easy to spot, which I know that's another thing a lot of people were worried about. They were blue when you looked in them, so you can see which cameras were hers. And overall, going to be a very strong operator, and you are going to need the intel she can get you to counter the next operator, which is Blackbeard. And Blackbeard has a riot shield or a rifle shield, I should say, on the front of his gun. He is the new attacking operator, who has a Scar H and an MK11 as his 2 primary weapons, and the Scar didn't seem to have too much recoil. It was hard to see really what was going on during this display, but if you guys want me to go further into that, I will actually have some gameplay. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show you, but I'll try and see what happens. His secondary weapon is the Desert Eagle. He has a breaching charge and a stun grenade as his gadgets, and he also is 2 speed, 2 armor, just as Valkyrie was. And the shield is extremely overpowered on his gun. It's just like you're shooting a normal gun, but with head protection, so when you're rappelling or behind another shield operator, it is extremely hard to counteract this, because you can't shoot him in the head, and the only thing that happens to the shield is you get slower when you have it up, and there's a little bit of recoil in the gun, but there's not a difference between having the shield up or having the shield down. Overall, everyone is going to pick this operator. Every single team will be using him as soon as they possibly can. And he's also going to be very good for repelling. And both of his guns seem to hit pretty hard, as most people know just from seeing the MK11 and Scar. So yeah, next we are going to move on to the map Border. So the map is called Border, obviously, and they kept emphasizing how destructible the map is. Like, everything seems like it can blow up on this map. There's a giant middle room, and it's a small to medium size. They compared it to Hereford Base. It seemed to be about 2 floors, and there's a walkway going all the way around it, and almost every surface in this building can be blown up. So it's very interesting to it's going to be interesting to start playing on that new map. And yeah, I'm just really excited for these new operators. The map seems awesome, but the operators both look extremely, I don't want to say overpowered, but I think they're going to change the way everyone plays, and everyone's going to need to use them. And another thing, as you will probably see in the footage, is they're adding in charms and face masks and the winning team's pose at the end. So those are a bunch of people were speculating about that, and the charms look pretty cool flopping around on the guns as you're running around. And I didn't notice much with the face masks. I'm sure many people didn't want it to be unrealistic, but it didn't seem very unrealistic to me at all. And yeah, I will have some gameplay for Blackbeard. And the winning pose at the end is really, it's very similar to the GTA poses they have. I'm not sure if you get to pick how your character stands or not, but that is basically that. And now I'm going to go through the other improvements that they mentioned. They are buffing and reworking IQ, Montagne, and Tachanka. And Montagne is probably going to get used much more. The other two, I'm not exactly sure. So for IQ, they changed her pistol, her little screen. They changed it so she can see through the screen much better. So if there's an enemy there, she'll be much easier. It'll be much easier for her to use her pistol. And now you can see the shape of the objects she's looking at, and you can see them from a little further away, I believe. And she might be a much more useful character now because Valkyrie's cameras are going to be very hard to counter in this game. And Montagne, his upgrade / reworking has been his shield is now 180 degrees, so he can go in a room and check side to side much easier without being killed, and he's a much better, he's just going to be much better protection for the teammates that are behind him overall. And it's going to be much easier for him to get you intel. And Tachanka, he picks up and puts his turret down faster, and they made it easier to put the turret in corners and stuff where you used to basically have to put it in the middle of a room, which makes him pretty terrible, and I still think he's going to be awful. But now at least you can hide his gun a little bit better. But yeah, so those are the 3 buffs that they're doing. If you want any more information on those, be sure to let me know, and I'll try to make a more in-depth video on whatever you guys want. Or if you have any questions, ask them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them. And then some of the other major patch notes they talked about. The first one is now you can stop placing your gadget in between rounds. Not in between rounds, in between putting it down. So let's say you're putting down a charge on a wall and someone starts shooting your feet. You can just, I'm assuming it's going to be hitting Y or something like that. You can stop putting the charge down. If you're in the middle of putting down Tachanka, for say, you can stop in the middle and then instantly exit out of that animation. So it's making the game much easier to play, especially, it's just making the game better overall, in my opinion. There is also going to be full customization in between rounds now, which people were also speculating about. And this is going to be awesome because if you play on a different type of map, like maybe you don't want a long-range scope on house, so maybe you didn't know you were going to play house, you want to change your scope, or in between rounds if you want to start moving back to a longer range or something. It's just going to overall make it much easier to play the game. And like I said before, they did add in the charms and face masks, and there's going to be a winning pose at the end of the game and such, to show off your new charms and face masks and skins. And another interesting update, they said that they are resetting ranks for Season 2, and there's going to be a bunch of changes in ranked. They didn't say exactly what those were. But they did say something about you will have a rank for each season. So let's say you're at gold or silver now. Then when Season 2 comes out, it seems like your rank will be reset. And then it'll just maybe show that you were a silver in Season 1, and let's say you're a gold Season 2. So then Season 3 comes out, and you'll be able to see what rank someone was each of those seasons. And another big update that doesn't seem too big, they reworked the optics. So they had a pro player there, and he was talking about, actually might not have been a pro player, might have just been YouTube, not actually sure. But they made the red dot much smaller, and they made the reflex sight much better. So they're basically trying to balance the optics, because everyone right now basically tries to use ACOG or holographic sometimes is what I use. But they apparently made the red dot and reflex sights much better and much more precise, so people actually will know where they're aiming. And so they are going to be releasing the patch notes when the update comes out, and you guys will be able to see anything else that I missed in those. But if you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the description. And if you guys have any videos you want me to make specifically on one topic, like let's say as in-depth of an operator profile as I can do on Blackbeard or Valkyrie, or the Charms or something like that, let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more news and more Rainbow Six gameplay.